I mean, we don't even, do we need to call it to order a working session?
Nope.
No.
Is just where Lisa gonna be involved? No.
No,
Okay, good.
but I was hoping JT would be here, but I haven't heard from him, so maybe he's coming.
Can you send the notes while
I
you
did, I thought I did, I sent to our address, I sent that.
Which email address?
I think I sent it to
all
your.
the sketches.
That's the thing. It's our cat guy.
Yeah.
This is a-
couple of them, yeah.
An idea for
I
what?
figured this would be helpful.
That's an outer float and it's also a wave attenuation, I think.
Is this from David?
Yeah.
I haven't got it.
I guess we can remember that. Oh, now.
This is me, supposedly about ours.
Email, right, what do you want, email?
So. Can we begin?
Yeah.
Harbor Masters
You got something?
Well, I
Share?
have an opinion, that's.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I don't think we should even talk about flooding. Cause you can't solve it, you never will, until you get to the point where you have to vacate the brick building on the first floor, which is not by 2050. According to, if they're grass are correct, then
Yeah.
it'll be up to them. And there may be some doorways. Town probably couldn't help us not do the engineering for it, and then maybe different off to get to that point, but. Anything we do with the sheet pile in that area is just gonna come around it. I think, but any discussion about flooding is,
Except that we have a couple of buildings that we should
oh, we're gonna,
consider about flooding.
well, we're gonna do, in my opinion, I think we're gonna do a new restroom and a new,
And so those have to go
They'll have
up
to
in
go up.
regards to flooding.
Yep.
And we have a restaurant facility, either we put it on a trailer, and drive it out every time,
well.
or we build that up too.
And I think that, if you're not building up the parking lot, and I don't think you should, that building should be. Turned into a food truck. And I, you know, if we
You're
could,
talking Danny Murphy's?
no.
Yeah, we have big wheels.
The little hot dogs thing. Oh, okay. That can be built up, but then you got all this ramping and all that stuff to do, and I would think that,
I would all for a mobile food truck there, but I don't like the food trucks where they are, but. They're in the view,
yeah,
but that space is one that can be utilized.
and you probably could get two in there without affecting the view by the time that boat gets here. So, and that would be a really good place for them.
Would that existing building be put on?
I don't know.
It
You can send it, do it yourself on two.
doesn't have a floor, it's all concrete, but, so it would be
I got an
pretty
email.
difficult to do that, so I would. And I think the town is about headed with that. That place, you know, it's just, you know, it's not working, but
Well,
that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
You
I think-
use Gmail?
It ain't what we wish it was, but it's better than.
Well, send an
Well, like I
email.
said, if you
Yeah.
contracted with somebody to do a food truck there, then we wouldn't have to worry about the flooding and we would have everything now and that would work, so I
but we
think.
need to think about.
Maybe you
in
could have
terms of the
pontoon
bathroom in the
boats.
Harbor Masters hut.
Yep.
And maybe we move the Harbor Masters hut into a
Pretty
building that
great.
includes the bathrooms all over there
Not
and go up.
It wouldn't be,
Then we would have maybe more space over in that corner or something.
the issue with that is you can't see the floats of the boats from over there by the.
If you go up though,
You'll have a system of cameras monitor.
AI will do it for us.
There he is.
I'm not sure that I would move that, I think I would
Okay.
try to work with something that could either make it mobile or, you know, something like that. Raising it up would be difficult.
Roger and David, we're talking about the concerns of flooding and what they may drive in terms of the need to raise some of the buildings, but not to be concerned about it with the parking lot. And keep the parking lot as a status quo.
Well, I do think you should worry about wave action. I
Right.
think we can do that with some type of system that is down. And it can be brought up, and in my opinion, it would not be solid, it would be 2 feet apart and at an angle. so that water could get right through, but waves came in. And it would be, you wouldn't be, have that massive fighting of a wall, it's solid all the way out, you just stop in the wave action. Or something, I don't know, I didn't know engineer, but there must be a way to do that, where you can let the water.
Yeah,
in and out
no,
waves.
I walked in and I just.
Push it back. Yeah, they said it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a mesh or something.
Well, no, I, we took, this in the front. And put plates that are.
Yeah, I think
that you
that's a
can
real
pick up.
interesting idea, yeah.
You can pick them up when you need them, and they won't have to be as strong because the water's gonna go through.
Or something that's like a Jersey barrier that was placed and then bolted into, you know, down into the deck of the concrete.
Yeah.
On an angle, like you say.
And then, you know, anyhow, I think that engineering would be a good idea to stop the wave action, which is what does all the damage.
I don't think we can think about going up the parking lot without the engagement of MMA or the other partners on. the
Everybody, all the way down to these trees.
And I just think that's unfeasible right now.
And I think if we all agree on that, then we can eliminate an awful lot of what's going on down there. And some other things that are, in my opinion, important is the wave action would be the most important thing that we could do to stop all this nonsense in the parking lot. They talked about green space, eliminating parking, which is just a horrible idea.
Well, they're responding to some of the survey pieces.
I still say that until and unless the Maritime Academy creates parking garage or something to eliminate the parking issue downtown, then you really can't afford to.
We need to maximize the park.
Right, and I think that, you know, before when they had the flower beds go all the way around, that was nice. And I think the problem with watering, I think if somebody, and I told them last year, if they, you know, the garden, or they call it whatever it is, the dog can water that every day. You know, they don't have to do that. We're down there every day and.
Don't they like doing that?
I guess not, because that's why they left it and went to the two pots that were easier. But I think that type of thing, I don't think green space is ever gonna be as important as parking.
Well, plus anything you plant there, when you do get storms and inundate the parking lot, it's also gonna get it, right?
Yeah.
Gary, did you have something
Well,
put on parking?
I don't mind, I agree with Scott now in short term, but if you start looking at the highest annual tides and where the sea level's going in 2050 and 2070. I think we do need to look at something to do with the parking lot, cause it's not gonna be a parking lot unless you get pontoons on your car. So I think we gotta have a short-term vision, but I also think we gotta be a long-term vision. But one of the things I don't like about this is it talks about 2050. And if we're gonna do $1 million projects or something with raising the sheet piles and stuff like that. I think we have like one shot. Like, this isn't something people are gonna wanna do every 25 years. They're gonna, whatever we do now. So let's say that we say, okay, the sheet piles are fine now. And we know we're gonna have to replace them, so we do like what City of Portland did or whatever later. Those go up higher, they should be addressed for the maximum level. And I've heard, oh, we don't wanna block the view, right? Ideally, the view coming down Main Street, you can see, okay? If the whole parking lot's underwater, like in 2070 or 2050, whatever it is. The view's not gonna mean a thing, and right now, what is the view? Is it when you're driving through in your car and you look out into the ocean? Because I think people need to get out and enjoy the view, and I think lifting the parking lot up will be enjoying the view too. But I love Scott's ideas on that. I do think we have some structures in place. I don't wanna keep going back and spending money fixing stuff, cause they get flooded out. But I think we need to have a longer vision. We need to scale whatever we're gonna do. So if the sheet pile has 25 more years to it, then we address like priorities getting to that point. So when we're spending the money, we're spending it once to fix whatever the issue is. And then we build upon whatever those are as time passes.
I totally
That's just my
agree.
thought.
I think this as a near-term solution is just a waste of time. Raising the parking lot only, not, we're addressing one building, right? The restrooms. The harbor master's shack and the restaurant are down below at the lower level. So all we're doing is raising the parking area and creating a barrier for people to have to cross to get to the dock. It doesn't make any sense to me, to do anything about raising the parking until we're able, in conjunction with MMA, to raise the bulkhead.
And I think, you know, the other thing is that if you think about what we're talking about here, raising the bulkhead at all doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, you're still gonna get the water around it. So from now until the time you have to close Danny Murphy's and Benta loses their garage and that is the point when you can do things that address flooding. You can't do it now. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to do it in any way, shape or form.
Well, we're never gonna be guaranteed the opportunity to be able to work with our neighbors. Right? There may always be a neighbor that doesn't wanna get involved with it. We have to take a stance at some point that we're protecting the town, and in my mind, the town waterfront and the MMA waterfront need to act in unison, because that's where all of the storm surge and the wave action and high tide rise are gonna make the most difference. So until that's at a point where we're able to raise the entire bulkhead, the entire length of the Castine town dock and MMA waterfront, using the launch ramp as the cutoff point, which is always gonna get flooded, and then we need to have access if we're gonna keep it there. You know, that seems like a reasonable thing to expect to be able to happen in unison with one another. I don't know what Danny Murphy's is gonna do. You know, they're eventually gonna get flooded out. I have no idea, but we're gonna have to ramp down to Kenny's and to, you know,
For the near future, which is the next 20 years, say, that the bulkhead is probably gonna be intact. The occasions that we're actually gonna flood the parking lot are gonna be
minimum.
maybe a few, probably the whole events are gonna be able to count on one hand without any trouble.
And so what if the parking's not floods?
Okay, and I don't think flooding the parking lot's not a big issue.
Exactly.
To me, if we get some sea level rise and we get a major storm, the wave action is gonna be something that really destroys things. Just having the water come up on the harbor master shack
Mhm.
doesn't really hurt anything.
Well, I mean, that's what I was just saying. I think we should work on a wave attenuation with these,
And-
some type of
Yeah.
not a wall, something you can, you know, is at an angle and you can pick it
And-
up a sheet, you know, it's only like 3 feet tall. And bolt it down and brace when it goes up. And then let the water go through it, but the way it can, and then that's the end of that whole story, and until such time as.
So where does that happen?
In that area, you know, in front of the cars where that whole, like the
Each one on top of the bulkhead, you're saying? Yeah.
well, starts on top of the
Right.
concrete that's supposed to come this next fall, if we can
Right.
budget it.
Yeah.
It would be hung there. Mostly for strength,
Right.
that area, and then but they would be at an angle down, and,
Mhm.
you know, make it so the water goes through and then.
Yeah.
Let the water go through, because it's gonna go around it anyhow, so.
So
And
then,
that gets you through till the point where. Somebody has to do something with all the buildings, including vendors and
Exactly.
everybody's, and
Yeah.
until the town of Castine is willing to, or the government or somebody willing to come in and say, okay, we're gonna move. That level to somewhere else. Danny Murphy's gotta go somewhere else, Venture's Place, I mean, these all are gonna be affected by that, and the Academy's gonna be horrifically affected by it with the ambulance building and everything that's down there. Your shop where the boats are in, I mean.
Well, they,
You-
and they
you're
kind
gonna
of
do
gotta have a
all that.
long
What's the
term.
Academy talking?
so this is a plan for 2045, 2050, something like that?
Well, that's, to
I
me, that's
would like to have them
the
draw it.
important is when Maine Maritime Academy
Is
is making, like the end of a
Why don't
plan.
you
Yeah.
put it up
Work
there and
with
you can
us at
point
the
to
same
what you're
time.
talking about?
Sure, work with Danny Murphy and the brick building. Other than that, what are we doing here?
Let's ask for another drawing time.
Well, it all has to be hashed out.
Oh, I agree, but I just think I think
As far as this report goes.
To
Try and,
stop the wave action, not worry about the flooding.
yep,
The
trying to
you know,
do anything that's gonna be long-term, past the life of the bulkhead that we've got. I think is foolish, because we don't know what's gonna happen. You know, the water level may go up 10 feet, and so anything we do that would be 4 feet would be,
might not happen at all.
and something may happen that it doesn't go up as much as they're projecting.
Right.
We've only been talking about this sea level rise thing for the past few years. And 20, 25 years in the future, trying to predict that, I think, is fool's play. But-
So that doesn't mean, let me get a word in if I can. This thing to me, this is like 20, 25 years from now, the way I see it.
Yes,
Depending on how much water comes up. What I would like us, what I wish I had a drawing for in this report was 2027. Where we take care of dinghy space and put a wave attenuator out there.
okay, and I had,
And we almost have money for that.
Yeah, so
I have
I
that
think we're
here,
all
but I'd
on the
like
same
to-
page. Roger, you haven't spoken yet, but I think,
Well, okay, I think, wait, I took my measuring tape and went down to the dock and measured the thing. And, the scale is off on this. Quite a bit. Scale
It's all,
off, yeah. So it was driving me a little nuts, so the actual measurement of the town dock is 42,638. The scale drawing shows, the inch, 1 inch equals 40, but it's actually 30 feet. So
No,
the
you know,
difference is like 12.6.
read the scale, that's a typo. That should say scale 1 inch equals 80 feet, because look at the thing, well, it's a different size print.
Okay, so that scale is wrong. Oh,
I think,
okay.
it all
yeah,
depends on what,
anytime you print,
what size you print this.
yeah, you gotta use the
Yeah.
top, you gotta use the top part, you can't use the 1 inch equals.
Okay, that's what threw me off.
That's not-
Yeah, that's what I did.
In terms of trying to address near future versus far future. It sounds like we're interested in addressing the risk of wave damage versus the.
Yeah, yeah. So what was the right scale? It all depends on what it's printed. I feel like I don't, I.
the dock from way back. And